Let's get into it. This is the biggest JRE oversight that I have ever seen. And it's blowing my mind that this happened. Now, this is about Bohemian Grove, right? So I'm going to be showing you some clips from the JRE past where Joe's talking about Bohemian Grove and the enthusiasm that he has about it. The craziness that he acknowledges that all of it is, okay? And then I'm going to play you a current clip that just happened with him and Kid Rock. And Kid Rock actually says, I was there. And you would think from the first clips that I show you, Joe's going to have a lot of questions. But not so much. Really, really interesting. I just want to play this for you guys. Let's just get it. This is it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Finally, he has a celebrity that is like, I was there, and they seem like they're willing to talk about it. And you don't press them after how excited you've been about this thing the whole time? It's Bohemian Grove. Let's just get into it. Don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. We got Sold Not For Sale, all sorts of renditions. We got Public Enemy #1. Everybody knows who this cat is right here. Get yours now. Discount code is IamCoachColin, all capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin. Let's get to this first clip from a few years ago. Joe Rogan, ladies and gentlemen, with Duncan Trussell.
Met him. So he went and snuck in to this place where like former presidents go. There's a photograph of Ronald Reagan with Herbert Walker Bush and a couple other people all standing around. And it's like, these are the people that used to hang out at this place, and they would put on robes and they would worship an owl god, and they would burn an effigy. And they're playing, and Alex snuck in and made video footage of this shit. And then no one's denying that it's real. This really did happen. So they're in with these bankers and former presidents, and they're dressed like druids.
Yes.
And some guy brings over something that it's an effigy that's supposed to be a body, a wrapped up effigy. It's also a bunch of sticks in a blanket, but it's like shaped like a body.
Yeah.
And then they drop it on the fire, and they're all worshiping an owl god.
Why is that bad?
Imagine if you saw those, if that's what your business is, just finding those things. How crazy do you think you get?
First of all, wait.
Then you add in vodka and head wounds.
Wait, hold on, wait. Go to the vodka and head wounds part. What do you
South
mean?
Jones.
Okay, I got you.
A lot of vodka and you had a bad head injury.
God damn it, man. When I was in liberal arts school, man.
Very, very odd. So Joe knows. Joe understands everything that we all know about Bohemian Grove. Everybody's seen the stuff that Alex unveiled to the world, him and John Ronson. Everybody's seen it. Everybody knows it's mind-blowing to think that that's what the elites are doing in hidden parts of forests. It's absolutely crazy. Like he said, dressed as druids. Here, let me play another clip of Joe talking about this. Hold on.
Dressing up like druids and worshiping the owl god Moloch. That's real, dude.
I know.
They really do that.
I know.
They do that. But what do you eye rolling, motherfucker?
I rolling that the Illuminati doesn't
Brian,
control the world because
Brian.
Nobody's that organized.
Well, maybe they're not. But did you ever see that Bohemian Grove thing? That is absolutely 100% real. No, it's not. So what, Brian? It's people dressing up like wizards, saying some secret ritual.
Doesn't mean they control shit.
It's burning an effigy in front of an owl god.
Same with Burning Man.
Bro, this is so different than Burning Man. It's the government. It's people at the highest levels of banks. It's all these different famous people. There's a bunch of crazy, really rich, influential people that went to that Bohemian Grove and dressed up like druids and they chanted things. Yeah. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I saw it.
You are.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. He hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen it.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't want you to put it on.
No, I did see it because you were talking about it and I didn't believe it.
You are. What do you mean you didn't believe it? John Ronson was there. John Ronson is a 100% credible journalist. Yeah. Whatever you might think about anybody else that was there, although different people that have made YouTube videos on it, John Ronson is legit as they come, straight down the middle, very intelligent.
But what do you think they're doing there? Are they?
I think they're doing a thing the same way they do the Skull and Bones, where they get together and they have a group where they all become a part of this group early on, and they feel some kinship, just like the Freemasons, just like a lot of people. But this is very extreme, where they're chanting crazy shit and they're putting hoods on and they're burning an effigy that's supposed to be a sacrificial person, but it's straw in a bundle. And they They talk about the owl god Moloch. Okay, these are multimillionaires.
Do you know who Marina Abramovic is?
Of course he doesn't.
Now you do.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
But Brian,
you didn't in that when we were texting.
But your initial
No,
reaction is not
Epstein's.
objective. Your initial reaction is not. You're like,
no, I don't believe
that is a crazy thing.
I know, but I just don't believe that. I don't believe the rich and powerful are
run the world?
organized enough to actually get together and create a cabal. I think they're all competitive.
Let me give you a
so rich.
Let me give you a two-step here.
They're not organized.
Do you believe the footage from Bohemian Grove that really was these heads of banks and heads of, you believe that, right? And they're all together, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't they talk about business?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably how they do it. This is probably what it's all about. It's probably not as nefarious as we like to think.
It's their fight campaign. How do you think they got so rich? By being lazy? No, of course.
So, you see what I mean? He's excited about this type of thing. He's really excited about it. Man, I have some other stuff with Bohemian Grove that I'm going to show you, but now we're going to go to the current clip. You know? He's sitting there. He has all these speculations, all these questions. your friend is Eddie Bravo. If your friend is Eddie Bravo, you kind of owe it to one of your best friends to question the person who's been to Bohemian Grove to a wild extent. At least 15 questions to be asked. Let's see what Joe Rogan does. Let's go to this clip.
Probably behind it that's bigger than that. And if I would guess,
You're
it's
not a
probably
conspiracy
foreign
theorist,
money.
right?
I'm 100% a conspiracy theorist.
Right, fuck.
I love a good conspiracy.
Must be
I
good.
believed in Bigfoot until about 8 years ago.
Oh, fucking the Yeti's another story. I didn't say I didn't believe in the Yeti.
I don't anymore. But I was all in for a while. But I've been down so many rabbit holes, so many 9/11 rabbit holes, so many, Bohemian Grove rabbit holes.
I went there
Skull and
once.
Bones.
I got kicked out.
Did you? You went to the Grove?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Why'd you get kicked out?
Fucking weird. Fucking weird. I punched a kid in the head.
You punched a kid in the head in
And-
Bohemian Grove?
Yeah, it turns out this fucking kid was an infiltrator. So then after that, I was kind of this hero. Like a year or two later, he'd come back. I was like, I'm not coming to your little fucking weird party out in the fucking woods. I was like, I went once. It ain't that cool.
So the infiltrator. What happened with you and the infiltrator?
We were sitting on this fire. You have these little. They're kind of like tree houses or campsites, but they're really nice. Everyone has a private chef. Got
Really?
Yeah, you do share a room. Me and Jimmy John shared a room. That was fun. And I can remember kids talking around this fire, and he just started popping that shit, and I just fucking went at him.
Oh.
Gave him a couple, helped him up. It's like, hey, we good? Well, I think, we weren't on great terms, but I think we had an understanding. It was just, one of those things. And then I couldn't go to the concert that night. I think Zach Brown or somebody's playing, like, you can't come.
My
And I had to
God.
sit home like I was in fucking timeout or something. I'm like, fuck this place.
Meanwhile, you're Kid Rock and you're getting left alone by these people with some fucking crazy person, and you defend yourself.
Fucking weird.
There's going to be a certain percentage of people that are just out of their fucking minds, and if you haven't vetted them, that's on you.
Hey,
Don't kick them out.
for all I remember, it could have been drunk shit or whatever. It wasn't the end of the world. It was a little tussle and a little hit the ground, maybe a punch here and there. It was like, then it was done. It wasn't like,
But it was a fight.
I guess
You're just a nice guy. You didn't beat him to death.
It was a tussle.
You're a nice guy. But it's how many people infiltrate that place? Because a bunch of people film videos there now.
I have no idea.
Alex Jones was the first. Him and John Ronson. This is back before Alex Jones was persona non grata, and people would do legitimate journalists like John Ronson would do these things with them.
Not familiar.
You never seen that video of them in Bohemian
I've never heard
Grove?
of John Ronson.
John Ronson's a brilliant guy. He's what is his exact? He's an author. He wrote that book. So You're Getting Publicly Shamed, about like social media shaming. He's an interesting guy. He's a very funny guy. But he went with Alex to Bohemian Grove, and they filmed these rituals. These people dressed like druids, and they're burning this effigy in front of a giant owl statue.
I was at the owl statues. This is fucking hilarious. So I'm there on day one, right? And we're drinking beers. Like, it's pretty laid back. There's some really cool talks. I remember this dude talking about shooting asteroids out that might hit the Earth in so many years, shit like that. I'm like, fuck, this is cool.
Oh,
But the
wow.
first day, it was the first evening, and you gather around whatever, the owl by this lake, if I remember correctly, which could be a little hazy. It was a long time ago. And like, I've heard about this place. I'm like, this is some real secret ass shit, man. I can't believe I'm fucking here, right? And it's just a trove of celebrities. Fucking everywhere you turn, it's just fucking A. So you go there, and I'm like thinking, we're going to hear some shit, right? They're about to introduce the first speaker. And I'm like, fuck, this is going to be some shit. And they're like, and no offense against this guy, we consider him friendly. We have very good mutual friends, but they're like, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Danza. And I'm like, what? I'm like, come on, man. Who's the fucking boss? Tell them bitches. Which he would have just gone up there and been like, who's the boss, bitch?
That's hilarious.
I was like, no fucking way, man. I was like, we came all the way to this secret ass shit. And I love Tony. Fucking love him. But I'm like, come on, man. I was like, they brought Reagan back from the dead, and he's going to speak or hologram or some shit. Like,
You were hoping for some devil shit.
just some crazy shit,
Yeah.
one way or the other. He was a very good speaker, I got to say, but
Maybe they toned it down. Maybe they toned
This
it
has to
down
be
after
20
they'd
years
been
ago.
infiltrated. Oh, really?
I'm terrible with dates, but it's a long time ago.
Okay, because when Alex snuck in was like the 90s, Jamie? What was it? Like when Alex Jones and John Ronson snuck into Bohemian Grove. That's when they first got that video. I want to say it was in the 90s. I want to say it was like 99 or something like
I
that.
did have some fun there, I got to say. It was fucking weird. I met like Paul Pelosi and his son
Oh, boy.
and like Chris Matthews. Like,
Oh,
but I was
okay.
hanging out with them. We were having cool conversations.
That's
Kind of
cool.
weird. And then they asked me, like, I had to come play my guitar
Oh, no.
and, like, sing at one of these camp things. And I was like, I feel so used. I feel so dirty. Like, I don't do this shit, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's got to be weird. Hey, man, play us a song.
Well, it's kind of like a unspoken requirement, like a wink, wink. Like, you need to take your guitar over there, if you want to be in good graces or be a team player type deal. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't.
A friend of mine went to a party, and in the middle of the party, Michael Bolton just starts singing, and everybody gathers around while Michael Bolton was standing there singing.
Was it set up?
Yeah, it was set up.
Oh, well, that's fine.
But no one knew. And all of a sudden, like, I think no one knew.
How do you
He
know?
didn't know. But it was just like, what's going on?
Then how do you know?
All of a sudden, Michael Bolton singing, and everyone just be quiet.
It's not a bad strategy if you don't want to look like a putz to like. Otherwise, just like, hey, these motherfuckers paid me a shit ton of money, and I'm going to sing some songs.
Right, that's what it is. It's like the ultimate flex, you know?
Yeah, that's how I used to fund my foundation, doing corporate gigs.
Dude, Dana White had a birthday party.
I've played it a few times.
That's it. That's it. What? Somebody was there. They were willing to talk to you about the Bohemian Grove. You've been asking questions about it for a decade strong. Asking people who kind of were there, took some footage, speculating a whole bunch. You literally have a guy who's one of the coolest guys, Kid Rock, and he's willing to talk to you about it. He's even dropping names. Paul Pelosi and his son. What was that like? Simple question. You don't even have to go too far. Did you see a former president? Did you see Joe Biden? Did you see Donald Trump? Did you see Barack Obama? Who did you see? Did you see Dick Cheney? What other celebrities did you see? What happened when you were standing in front of that effigy? Did they burn an effigy? Standing in front of the owl god. Did they burn an effigy? Like, what took place? And he barely asks him anything about it. I'm mind blown. This is the greatest oversight I've ever seen in an interview before, where somebody is willing to talk about the Bohemian Grove, and you basically ask them nothing. He's like, you were expecting some devil shit. Why not just ask, did you see some devil shit? You know? Oh, you had to play your guitar. Who did you play in front of? How did you travel around? What did it look like? Were people high? Were they on LSD? Were they on mushrooms? Were you? How did this all work? Oh, there's so many questions to ask. And he asked none of them. And I know there's going to be a big camp of you. They're going to be like, man, Joe's a part of it, man. You got to understand, bro. Wake up. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. There's so many questions to be asked. And I have some more stuff on Bohemian Grove. Just some quick stuff here. I don't know. My mind's blown that he didn't actually ask about anything. This is actually something you can find on, where is this? CIA.gov. This is a thing that some guy wrote. And it kind of, he went, and I've talked about this before with the wife. The gentleman went to Bohemian Grove and decided to almost kind of whistleblow on it. And he kind of gave a description of everything that goes on there. So there's a hospital, stowaway, the different camps, what goes on. He did this whole breakdown. It's just available at the CIA library. It's just on their website. It's just a whole breakdown of everything. Silverado squatters. And you jump in this tram and you just kind of go around the whole place. There's the owl god right there. So that's where they do their thing. Like, how do you not ask about this? Because the thing is, when we talk about Moloch, right, everybody's just kind of like the owl god. Well, Moloch's actually a bull. And I guess they're just using the owl because that's what's there. Maybe there's a god that's actually associated with the owl. I'm not sure. But Moloch is a bull. And Moloch is associated with human sacrifices in general. But human sacrifice. So, just very interesting. This is the gentleman who wrote it. His name's G. William Domhoff. Guess they just made a little spelling error there. But you can actually find that on CIA.gov. It's just a whole breakdown of everything that goes on. And this gentleman actually made a website where he was talking about everything that goes on there. Like at least ask about, maybe Joe doesn't know, but like at least ask about something like this. This, if you can't tell, these are cabaret dancers. But these are the guys who went to Bohemian Grove. So I can't zoom in on any of the faces. But if you could, and you knew everybody who was there, you'd probably be able to point out some pretty high up faces. These are men that are dressed as women. They're dancing. When Kid Rock talks about having to perform, there's all sorts of weird things that these guys have to do. This website is so extensive. So extensive. What's this website called? I'm just going to put it in the description. I don't usually do that, But I'm going to do that for this one because it's just weird stuff. So they just show all sorts of pictures. This is them just all sitting and doing whatever it is that they do. This is another one. There's so much to ask. Yo, was George Bush there? That's all you have to ask. He didn't ask any of this stuff. This is a picture of George Bush and his son attending Bohemian Grove. There's so much that goes on here. Here's Reagan and Nixon sitting down, just having a whole talk about whatever it is they talk about. There's just so much. And again, this is just me usually it's about news and current events, but this is just about some old JRE stuff. I can't believe he didn't take the time to ask these questions in front of somebody who's as laid back as Kid Rock. Because if Kid Rock didn't want to answer you, he'd be like, I'm not going to answer you. But you could have pressed. He was coming out with names. You could have been like, listen, how many celebrities did you see? What were you guys doing? Guys talking about it like it's a secret club. And then also you got to think, Kid Rock didn't go back, but he went there. So is that the seal? Are you just in now? Are you in with that crowd? Is he a part of that now? I don't know, man. But these are all things that Joe could have asked and we could have known about. Jesus, can't believe this. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this whole thing. What you think about Kid Rock going there, what you think about Joe Rogan having so much to say about Bohemian Grove, and then when he's actually in front of somebody having nothing to ask this person who actually attended Bohemian Grove. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Other than that, I'm out.